One of the first things I learned as a marketer was the difference between wants and needs. I was taught that people want something, but they actually most of the time need something else. And because they're not an expert, they don't know it, and because you are, you do. And one of the biggest mistakes people can make is to try to sell the need, as opposed to sell the want and then deliver the need later. So for example, if someone types in "get out of debt" onto Google, what people want is a quick, magical, painless solution, works instantly, and makes everything better. And so that's what you have to promise people. Get out of debt quick, simple, no spreadsheets, no budgeting. You promise people something magical because that's what they want. And then once they've bought, you give them what they need, which is whatever it is, budgets, a plan, a new psychology of spending, cutting up their credit cards, putting them in blocks of ice, whatever it is that they need, sort of the unpleasant reality. And there's a certain element of bait and switch in there that I suppose is inevitable, but I think this is missing a deeper truth. And this came home to me when I was reading a wonderful book by a gentleman named Marshall Rosenberg, and the book is called Nonviolent Communication. He's been doing this work for maybe 40 years, and it's had a great impact on the way I think about marketing. And the key to nonviolent communication is empathy. So, what does this have to do with wants and needs? And the answer is that somebody may want an instant solution to get out of debt, but they need something before that. Before they can even express and follow that want, they need something, and that something is empathy. Now, if you think about it, we all need empathy. We need other people to understand us and hear us and witness us without trying to fix us. And you might think that the problem in marketing is that we have a hidden agenda or an extra agenda, is that we're trying to make a buck. We're trying to sell something, and maybe we're not that concerned about whether it's the perfect thing for the prospect, because their money we know is the perfect thing for us. And so you might think, well, if we just get rid of that, if we were totally aligned with the other person, then it wouldn't be a problem. But I'd like you to think about that for a second, and think about how many times in your life you've expressed something to someone and all you really needed was empathy, for them to listen to you, to hear all of what you had to say without trying to fix you or judge you or put you down or one-up you or any such way like that. And the truth is, it's really rare. Human beings are not really good at empathy. I have a little list here that I got from the Nonviolent Communication book of ways in which people respond to us that are not empathetic. So number one is advice. So, you should start paying down your high-interest debts first. Okay? Reassurance. Oh, it's not that bad, don't worry about it. One-upping. You were $30,000 in debt, I was $50,000 in debt. Educating. Well, the thing about debt is that it accrues on a compounding basis. Consoling. It's not your fault. Your parents gave you mixed messages about money, and our society, with its crazy spending, is implicated as well. You shouldn't feel bad. It's not your fault. Interrogating, or this is like diagnosing in order to help. Well, what's your biggest debt? How much is it? When did this start? Sympathizing. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, how terrible for you. Getting somebody to stop feeling. Say, oh, buck up. You can deal with this. Don't feel sorry for yourself. And then correcting. Technically, the mortgage is a different type of debt because it comes under a slightly different category and it's tax deductible. So when you think about it, how often when you express a pain or a need or a desire or a want or a fear, do you get true empathy? Somebody really listening, taking you in, witnessing you. Witnessing what you're going through without trying to jump in with a fix or a judgment, something that is making them feel better. See, the thing about all this list of advice and reassurance and all that is that it's all designed to make the other person feel better. It's not designed to make you feel better. The psychologist Carl Rogers said, when you witness true empathy, when you see someone truly empathizing for another, You can tell because it feels so damn good. So what I've come to realize is if we jump right into the want, into giving people that magic, that promise of something wonderful, before we have truly empathized, we're not on their wavelength. And the most important part of marketing, at least imaginatively, because online we can't necessarily have these conversations, but at least in our imagination, go through enough empathy by creating avatars, which is to say, creating composite, real, imaginary people who are our prospects, who can inform us, who can bubble up from our intuition what's really going on for them, what's really alive in them that we can empathize with. And once we get to that point, then we can hand out our prescriptions, then we can console, then we can educate, then we can do all the things that move us in the direction of the sale, that gain credibility, that show that we have solved their problem before, that discuss the features and explain why we're different. But the key to all of that is this deep empathic witnessing. Now tomorrow at 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, I'm doing my final 2 Virtual Camp Checkmate free webinars. If you've missed any of the previous 6, these are the last 2 in 2012. I'm not going to start up again another course until spring of 2013. And the response to these webinars by participants and by people who've been listening in has been really encouraging to me. A lot of folks have come to these webinars because they really felt kind of yucky about the marketing they were taught. That they felt that there was a gap between the techniques that they've learned, that they believe to be successful, or they may even know to be successful, and who they are as a person. And the feeling that I've gotten from people over and over again is relief. That there exists a methodology to bring our souls into marketing and to make our marketing align with our souls. And from that place, if the reason you have not been successful, the reason you have not made enough sales, the reason you're not getting enough margin is because of that place in your soul that's putting its foot down and refusing to let you move forward on that basis, then maybe that's the want that I'm talking about here. The want is let's make some more money, let's get some more sales, let's grow this business. And that can only happen when you take care of the deep need for integrity. So if that is where you're at right now, I invite you, and I strongly invite you, I strongly urge you to check out one of these webinars. There's a link below to register for either or both of them. It's about 75 minutes. At the end, I'm going to make a final pitch for Virtual Camp Checkmate, the 7-week online course that starts November 6th. If you find this valuable, this webinar, my hope is you'll find that course valuable as well. And so if it's a good fit, I'd love to welcome you to that. So meanwhile, there's the link. Please register, and I'll see you on the calls. Bye-bye.